So enlightenment is, in the end, it's nothing more than the natural state of being. That's basically what enlightenment is. If you strip it down of all the complex terminology and all the complex jargon, is enlightenment is simply returning us to our natural state of being. And so natural, of course, means a state of being which is not contrived, a state of being which does not need effort and discipline to maintain, a state of being which is not being enhanced by any sort of manipulation of the mind or the body. In other words, a state of being that's completely natural and completely spontaneous. And herein lies one of the reasons why a lot of meditation doesn't lead to the natural state, because a lot of techniques of meditation are actually, when you look at them very closely, they're means of control. That often the disciplines and the techniques we're given in meditation are given to the mind, and they're various ways for the mind to learn to control and guide experience. And as long as the mind is controlling and guiding our experience, it's very seldom that it's going to lead to a natural state where we are not controlled by the mind. When the mind is involved in control and manipulation, it can often lead to various states of consciousness. You might even learn how to still your mind. You might come into psychic powers. You can achieve a lot of things through a technique of meditation that is basically technique-oriented or manipulation-oriented. But what you can't do is come upon your own natural and spontaneous way of being through a form of manipulation. This would seem totally obvious. This would seem the most obvious thing. It would seem that it would be completely obvious to anybody that I'm not going to come to a natural and spontaneous way of being through inner control and manipulation. And yet somehow it eludes us, right? It eluded me for years. And of course, the fault isn't necessarily with the meditation itself, or it's often not even with the technique, although the technique we use can have a profound influence. The problem usually lies most profoundly in the attitude in which we engage meditation. And if our attitude is an attitude of control, of manipulation, if our attitude is one where we think we're going to master a discipline, then it's the attitude that gets in the way. Because then it's actually the mind or the ego that's meditating. And of course, in terms of enlightenment or spiritual awakening, we're talking about awakening from the mind and awakening from the ego. So, in what I call true meditation, this tendency of mind to control and to manipulate and to be disciplined is let go of from the very beginning. This really forms the foundation of what I call true meditation. And this is a immensely simple, as funny as that sounds, an extraordinarily simple beginning to meditation, which is to let go of control, let go of manipulation.